morning guys, welcome to Flory Models daily vlog. Here we are on Thursday, a little bit later, actually we've just come out for midday. To be honest, I've been editing. I have got a stack of editing to do. I say a lot of you think it's just I sit here and I stick bits of plastic together. Honestly, I spend probably more than half of my time doing editing these days, and now I've got a lot back. Don't get me wrong, it's great having Mel with us on board, helping me out with that. It's great having the guys helping me in the forum and everything, but it is that thing, yeah, you don't get as much time down here as you'd like really at the end of the day. So anyway, I have finished doing the editing and everything for the B17. That is done. I've almost completed the last bit of the editing for the A10. That'll be up with you tomorrow, because I want to do that because obviously it completes the month, and that build is done and dusted and out of the way as well as we make our way through. Spoiler alert for the B17G. I don't know, it was just, I don't know, I think what it is sometimes when you look at the hobby, you see real strides in engineering and obviously the ability for these manufacturers to bring out beautiful details, and then it's like they missed the beat somewhere. And to me, the external is what's missing on that one, the surface detail. Don't get me wrong, we're looking at this little guy down here. It's got beautiful riveting and it's got panel lining. I know it's in 1/48, but this kit now is best part of sort of 25 years old. And it's still one of the best ones that's out there as far as I'm concerned. If you're following this build along with me, you will know my thoughts on this one. But it seems to be that Airfix now have really gone to town with doing internal details. And some of their internal details are the best that I've worked with. You know, we've worked with some kits recently. Obviously, the one that springs to mind is the big 1/24 scale Typhoon. The great, you know, details and just the engineering and everything else that goes in. It's a bit clunky. It's a bit, you know, the plastic isn't exactly brilliant and all the rest of it. But the idea is there. But then you move on to this, and the internals, again, beautifully done, fantastic. We've got nice details inside, the cockpit, the bomb bay, all the various areas inside. But the surface detail just looks old. It looks tired. The panel lines look a little bit overdone. There's no riveting detail. And that's what I'm saying is that, you know, modern kits, I know it's a 70-second and riveting detail in 70-second, is a little bit hard to do, but if you look at other manufacturers like Trumpeter and stuff like that, they'll go to town on it, and it seems to be about right, you know. So that's what I'm saying is that, again, it's that thing you tend to find in this hobby, and I don't know if it's this hobby and other hobbies, but you get some guys who are unbelievably good at scratch building and super detailing a certain part of an aircraft, and they'll work on an engine and it looks amazing, and then unfortunately though, you look down and it's got a big seam line running through it and it's got a gap, and you know, you can see where it goes from plastic to putty and things like that, and you think, really? I'd rather master those areas before than doing the real technical stuff. And I know in some ways that the technical stuff draws your eye away from those, but sometimes they are just blindingly obvious. So sometimes I always think it's better to have an overall appearance or an overall set of skills than be a master of one and not a jack of all trades. And I know that's technically the wrong way of looking at it, but I'd rather be overall good at something than really good at one part and pretty dire at another. And I'm seeing that with it, you know, really with Airfix, seem to be getting really good, but they're losing the surface detail and everything else like that. Anyway, have a look at the review. It's up right now. You can make your own decision for it. Clear parts, stuff like that, absolutely beautiful. Am I building it? Not probably at the moment. Again, it's one of those kits where it was released and I thought, oh, it'd be quite nice to do one, and now I've looked at it, I'm thinking, yeah, I don't know. I think it'd re-rivet it, it'll be absolutely fine, but there you go. Anyway, on with this guy as we are pushing through very rapidly with this. Thank you for all your kind feedback. It's really nice to go sort of old school with something like this one. So as you can see, decals are on. When we spoke about it yesterday, we were talking about, you know, getting the vortex generators to come through. They're all through now. I've got one just stubborn little bit which I'm going to get in here with a knife and just chip it slightly and get that down. But this tail went on beautifully, and we were saying that technically it's one of those things. I think it would have been easier just to mask it, the internals white, okay, get them masked off, actually put the colours in, mask them off, and then put the blue in, and then unmask the lot, and you would have ended up with this very, very easily. But we've gone down the road of using the actual decals, and again, by time, patience, perseverance, in my case, they've gone down absolutely beautiful. And it's a bit like the black, I don't know if you can see it on here, I know the camera's locked, but You got the black and white stripe down the end. All I did was cut the decal in half because it's way too much that you need, lay it over the top, and then we just kept hitting it. Every time that these had a coat over the vortex generators to get them to bed down, we did this little guy as well. So by keep going over it, eventually it softened enough to wrap right the way round, and as soon as it wrapped right the way round, we then just flooded it and left it, and overnight it's pulled in, it's gone tight, and we've ended up with a beautiful tow hook, arrestor cable, arrestor hook I should say, with the striping perfect, which I couldn't paint that, I'm hopeless. So to do it like that works well. But again, many times I've tried it before and I've rushed it and I've just gone, and you end up pushing it slightly and then it cracks, and as soon as it cracks, that's it. Door. Look, a live unmail time. Okay, thank you Chris Priestley from Australia, who has sent me something. I don't know what this is, I haven't got a clue. We haven't done one of these for a while, but I was going to say, the funny thing is we've already had our post, so I knew it had to be something that needed a bit of attention. Okay, I hope this is quite good in this, Chris, and nothing weird and odd or going to jump out and bite me. Big shout out to you guys in Australia. I know you're really feeling it with the weather at the moment. It rains here too, but not quite like you've had it. Oh wow. Why, thank you Chris, that's absolutely fantastic. So we have a 3 squadron hat. I do like my hats. I don't wear them on camera, but I do like my hats. But when you have ears this big, I can tuck them in. And we have had some more beautiful stuff, some more patches. So we've got a nice Hornet one there. We got, I think that must be 2 squadron operational conversion unit. We have a beautiful challenge coin. If you guys don't know what challenge coins are, basically what happens is, hopefully you guys can see, I know I've locked the camera. These are challenge coins, and what happens is that usually they're given to squadrons, and then they hand them out just to sort of VIP type things to prove you've been there. And the idea being, in the olden days, is that people would say, were you ever on such and such? And you could say yes, and people would say prove it, and you've got a challenge coin to prove it. That's what it is. And we got another one from 77 Squadron, from the Australian ones. Thank you very much. Oh no, and it keeps giving. We've got another one there as well for the Hornet upgrade patch, very nice indeed. And we've got a beautiful bookmark as well, celebrating 100 years from 1916 to 2016. Thank you so much Chris. I'll read your letter in a moment like that, but thank you, that's absolutely beautiful. There we go, good timing for that one today. I have got something winging its way from Japan. I'll give you a clue. It's got 4 legs and it's in Star Wars. That's all I can say. Let's face it, everyone knows what it is. If you're a Bandai fan, you'll know. But yeah, I have got the attack coming. I got a dispatch note from Monday, which is amazing because technically it doesn't get released till tomorrow. So I'm not sure how it's coming, but I've added a dispatch note and tracking, and it is on its way. So somehow the company managed to get it out to me a little bit early, but by the time it gets here, it'll be normal release. So hopefully that'll be here next week. So this guy is done. Pretty much as we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a clear coat onto this one now, and then in the meantime this afternoon what I'm going to do is work on the gear and make our way through. So join me a little bit later on and we'll see how we're getting on. Okay, and we're back. So a really good afternoon's work on this guy. To be honest, we've done a little bit of post shading under here. It's had a gloss coat. Well, we say a gloss coat, it's a high air pressure, it's more like a satin. So we've used the old new Pledge Floor Care. Lovely stuff, goes down really, really well. Also, the nice thing about it that I'm learning with it is you can actually set it with a hairdryer, just run some heat over it, it goes white and pasty and looks awful, and then dries really, really fast. So actually you can speed up the drying time of it by about half compared to other glosses and stuff like that, and it's very, very forgiving. So as I said, this one is now completely done. Happy how the decals went down with it, everything else. And to be honest, down on here we did the old little tricks for the actual doors. So the doors, as you can see down on here, we used the Sharpie pen. So literally we did the old Sharpie trick with those, pop them round, put them in. We've got the gear, we've painted up the tyres, I've got the other tyres over there, we've got the panels done, the pylons, all the areas that we need to really finish this one off and get this one done and everything else like that. But generally, having a look round, you can see she is looking very, very much the part. Very happy how it turned out. If I get this to focus in, there we go, you can see that work on the tail. Not bad really, as we were saying, for the decal way of doing it. Actually, that worked really, really well. It came out very, very well. So I'm very happy of how the entire thing has worked out, how it's all come together. Okay, so we're going to be pushing through really heavily with this particular build. So on Monday, you're going to have a part up from Steve with his new video build that he's starting on Monday. On Tuesday, you're going to get this one. On Wednesday, you're going to get this one, and possibly another part on Thursday as well. So really, we're going to rattle through this one very, very quickly so we can get going with the other stuff. On Friday, you'll be getting that lump there, the A10. That is to be the last part of that. Will be up with you as we make our way through. Sorry, I know you hate when I move the camera that quick, but generally we're really sort of getting everything together. It's the end of the month as we make our way through. Behind over there, as you can see, we actually have the B17. We spoke about it earlier. You can go off and see that review build. That will be up with you right now. So sadly, this is the last vlog for YouTube. Fear not, members, you've got something else starting on Monday. Hopefully you're going to find it a lot more interactive. Full details of everything will be up over the weekend. I've got a special show coming up for you as a separate to what we're doing here now. But generally, thank you very much for everyone's kind feedback. Thank you for your comments and everything that you've done with this, with YouTube over the last few months when we sort of opened it up and see how we got with it as we moved our way through. But as I said, all good things have to come to an end. So never mind, you know, in the future we might do something similar, but for the moment it's time for me to get back to working in Flory Models land and doing what we do best. Okay, so that is about it from me. What we're going to do tomorrow is obviously we've got the Friday catch up. So what's going to happen is we're going to have a look back throughout the week, see exactly what we've gone on, and so the final part of the A10 will be up with you tomorrow. So there we go. Happy modelling. Take care. I'll catch you all tomorrow.